he found himself in some uncompromising situations, still was striking, still landed a few elbows, and even though I think probably on the Chambers scorecard, he's down a round, he's up a round in terms of the cut above the right eyebrow.
I hope on everyone's scorecard he's down a round, because I think that first round was pretty well dominated by Rivera.
All right, now we get to the second stanza here. Willie Gates has to know he's down a round, and hopefully he forces the issue here at the outset.
I think if I'm Gates, I'm going to try to work my jab a little bit here, throw some knees on those shots, but you don't want to let Rivera get in again and you know, utilize that double underhook and leg trip and take you down.
And of course, we'll continue to keep an eye on that cut above the right eyebrow of Jimmie Rivera. You have to think Willie Gates will be doing everything in his power to reopen that thing up. It appears as though the cut man did a good job, at least to this point. Again, Rivera trying to work the takedown.
And a leg trip again. He's got to get his hips into it a little bit more.
Yeah, Gates showing some nice leverage there. Some decent takedown defense out of the MMA rookie, if we can call him that one fight in.
You know, that cage can be your best friend or your worst enemy. If your back's to it, it's like fighting two people at once. If you got your opponent's back to it, it's like having an ally. One of the big differences fighting inside of a cage as opposed to a ring is you don't have the flexibility of the ropes and things of that nature, so you really have to train off of the cage, both when you have your back to it here, like Gates does, and also when you have your opponents pinned up against it.
Now, both these guys very young in their mixed martial arts career. When did you stop feeling like an MMA rookie? How many fights into your career did you really feel like you had arrived and that you belonged?
You know what? I think that you're always going to feel like an MMA rookie, man. There's just so much to learn. It just depends on the caliber of guys you're fighting.
Dan Miragliotta separating the two fighters there. He wants more action. So do the fans, I think, at this point. Gates a swing and a miss. Rivera goes for an uppercut. That doesn't land either.
I think Gates really needs to kind of start pressing the action a little bit and getting things going here. He's got to work 2-3 punches and start putting together combinations. Right now, he's been just kind of throwing one punch at a time, and it's not doing anything besides giving Rivera time to shoot in and time those like that. Perfect. Right off that right hand. He's going to press him against the cage again. And
yeah, and you see whenever Gates misses with a strike, I mean, he landed the inside leg kick, landed a left.
Big double leg. Boom to the ground.
Huge takedown there for Jimmie Rivera. That doesn't feel good, I would imagine.
You know what? That's what you need to do when you're against the cage, is drop down, grab that double leg, suck it up, and do some Matt Hughes style over the head, flaring legs.
Now, Rivera here has side control, but he's got to sort of spring the head loose. Is that the goal here?
Yeah, well, he's not really in any danger right now. Even though Gates is holding onto his head, Gates is actually giving him a far side armbar like we saw in the fights prior. He's going to peel the hand off there. There you go, and he's fine. Rivera now stepping over into mount. Might get that ground and pound action here again.
Well, again, as you mentioned earlier, Jason, he told us his dream scenario to end this fight would be via the ground and pound, and might have an opportunity here. Willie Gates, we'll see how much he gasses. Really, again, not a lot of cage time.
No, you know, and you see Rivera now using the fence to his ability. He's working Gates there. You saw him walk his knees up a little bit and work Gates into the cage. Now he's going to be able to throw some punches. You're going to see Rivera here posture up in a second, throw a whole bunch of left and right leather, and I'm going to guess that's where he's looking for his TKO. Gates really needs to do something here to get out of mount, because keeping your head against the cage and not moving too much, holding him down there, isn't going to do a lot.
We go under 90 seconds in round two, and another round for Jimmie Rivera, at least to this point. Once this fight gets on the ground, it has been all Rivera. I think Willie Gates, maybe you could argue, has been the more effective striker, but hasn't landed a ton. And then Rivera, when he sees an opening, he takes him right to the canvas where he's most comfortable.
Yeah, I don't think Gates has really done a good job of putting together combinations this far. He clearly has a reach advantage on Rivera upstairs, but he hasn't been able to exploit it. Conversely, Rivera, there we go with those left and rights. Gates almost wants to turn his back there. You don't want to do that. That'll put Rivera right back on your back working those chokes. What Gates is doing now is just trying to hold him down with those double underhooks and hoping to get a stand-up. But Rivera's doing a good job of staying busy and working. You're going to see him trying to push off of Gates' face here, creating some space. Oh, almost rolled him off. There we go. He pushes off, tries to get some space, throws some leather.
Rivera doing a nice job, Jason, keeping that body weight on top of Gates.
Yeah, he has a good balancing and a good base there. You saw Gates tried to bump him off and get him to his guard, and he just kind of posted out a little bit.
23 seconds and counting here in round number 2. Again, all Jimmie Rivera here. Willie Gates started better than he's finishing here. In the ground and pound for Rivera. Dan Murgliata watching the action closely.
A couple more punches. He only got 10 seconds to finish it.
Again, Gates finding himself in trouble towards the end of the round, but can he escape? Looks like we will see a third round. More Bellator action right after this.